We got treats for you all.
Nice.
Hey, we've got some spindrift we're going to serve up. Do you want to? Is anybody not familiar with spindrift? It's carbonated spring water, sparkling water, and they sweeten it or they flavor it with natural fruit juice.
So there's no junk in it.
No junk, kind of tasty, refreshing. So we've got different flavors of that. You guys want to try some? We've got different flavors. I'll just bring some out for you, okay? And then here we have Standard Process Impossible bars. This is a berry bar that Standard Process makes. One of our best whole food bars. So I think you said there's no glycerin.
Glycerin, correct.
Yeah.
It's easy on the tongue.
Easy on the tummy. So that's a fruit bar. And then this one is a new one by Possible. It's got peanut butter, Drew-approved peanut butter. It's mold-free, okay? We've got some banana in it and some cacao. And I had some, and it's really good.
It's yummy. It's my favorite bar from them now.
So
even though it's the newest.
I'll just send some around, and then when it gets to the end of the row, then I can go back down the row. This person will start, and she'll be done with it by the time it gets done. So this is the peanut butter one. A little later on actually.
The berry bar has whey in it, so it's not technically dairy free.
Okay, but it is gluten free.
Yeah, no gluten inside of there. Yeah. So usually we kick off these live streams with me playing a little guitar, welcoming everybody on the internet for being here. Tonight's a little different though, because instead of Ask Drew Anything, we're specifically going to talk about muscle testing, which I'm really excited that we get to do that, especially since we have butts and seats, so we can actually test people here. Want to do a fun little thing. Show of hands if you are a client of mine. Awesome, couple of you. Show of hands if you've received training about muscle testing from me. A couple of you also. I love that, okay? And Dr. Mark, you're welcome to stay anyways. Okay. We have a handout that we're going to go through. We're going to do a raffle. I got a bunch of goodies out here. We got the snacks going. The drinks are on the way. I feel like this is going the way it's supposed to go.
We've got plenty of all the spindrift.
Yeah.
I'm going to yell out a flavor, and if somebody wants it, raise your hand. I'll get it to you. And if there's more than one person that wants the same flavor, we've got more, okay? And we also have the spindrift tea. The flavors of the regular. We got lemon limeade. I'll just read them off first. This one is yuzu mandarin.
It's my favorite.
This one is Fuji apple. We've got this one I haven't tried yet. Blueberry lemonade.
I haven't tried that either.
We've got grapefruit. And we've got blood orange tangerine. And then the flavors of the tea, we've got raspberry and lemon. So,
except for the tea.
Yeah. So raise your hand if you want a blood orange.
One.
Does anybody want a grapefruit?
Nice.
Anybody want a blueberry lemonade? Got a Fuji apple? Fuji apple, everybody? Yeah. Yuzu mandarin? I said this one already, not sure. Lemon limeade. Did you want something, Sue, of any of these flavors? I can run and get one. Otherwise, there's a tea yet. How about you? I want Janice because you got my one. Okay. The apple one, Fuji apple. Okay. Oh, okay. Everybody got some?
Cool. Lori, do you think we should do the official intro song? She probably didn't hear. She's in the kitchen. Kitchening. We have a couple of people who called earlier to say that they were going to show up late, that they had something. So we'll have some people joining us eventually. Heckle them when they walk in, okay? All right, let's jump into this handout. There'll be plenty of time for guitar later. Where do I want to put this guitar? More guitar to be had later. Where's my copy? All right, let's explain muscle testing. I think this is an important thing. Let's talk about muscle testing. We're going to cover it all. We're going to cover the good, the bad, and the downright ridiculous. I have a section of the dry erase board dedicated just to the things muscle testing. Hey, welcome. Just to the things that muscle testing cannot do. Yeah, you're front row. That's what you get for showing up later. Everybody in the back row is like, oh, he was serious about the front row for the later people. Yeah. All right, when I say let's talk about muscle testing, I mean it, okay? Ask the questions, say the weird thing. You're sitting with your tribe right now. It's a safe place to ask questions, okay? There is a major problem with muscle testing. And this problem stops people from using muscle testing to their benefit. This problem stops people from using muscle testing accurately. And this problem is easily fixed. I have a very simple set of goals for the workshop today. I want to teach you the science of muscle testing and then demonstrate it repeatedly. The more a person sees muscle testing, the more a person experiences it, the more a person can benefit from it and understand it. The major problem with muscle testing that I mentioned before, it's way too scientific. Yeah, you weren't expecting that? No? Anybody else not expecting me to say way too scientific? Right. And that's where we're going to get into this section of things muscle testing cannot do and that people claim muscle testing can do. It is often purported as this mystic, psychic, predictive. It's none of those things. We're going to cover that. So let's go through some things. Muscle testing, it's a verb. Eliciting a neuromuscular response through ischemic compression of dermatomes corresponding to various organs and body parts. We all understand muscle testing now. Yeah. I'll see you later. I'm going to go through all those words. That's why they're up on the board. That definition of muscle testing probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Only people with a medical background have a chance at understanding that definition. Let's look at some of those words and help make some sense out of that sentence. First, I said eliciting a neuromuscular response. So eliciting means gaining or given. Okay, you're getting a response from the body. Neuromuscular has to do with the nervous system, specifically in this case the brain, controlling muscles. So just so everybody understands, your nervous system, your neurological system, is there to make sure that all the things in your body do their different jobs. So your brain controls your muscles. When we're muscle testing, we're looking for a change in the way your brain controls your muscles. And it is literally that simple. Imagine if you went to pick up this mug, and the first time you picked it up just like I did. The next time you pick it up, you struggled with picking it up. Muscle testing is helping us define the difference between those two. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to demonstrate it for you a bunch. Ischemia or ischemic compression means a reduction in blood flow. Anybody here ever do that thing as a kid where you sat on your hands until they were totally numb? Yeah. And then you like hit them into things? Like, that feels weird. I'm the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only one. Yes, someone said yes? Thank you. Okay, good. That's ischemic compression. You already knew what ischemic compression was. You probably never called it ischemic compression when you were busy sitting on your hand. Okay. If you do that to somebody's neck, they're going to swat your hand away real quick. right? If you reduce blood flow to their brain, you're going to get their attention right away. Muscle testing is more subtle than choking someone, but it's the same principle. We are reducing blood flow and getting a response from the brain and the muscles because we are reducing blood flow. I see 1 light bulb so far, 9 more to go. And then more people will show up. I'll have more light bulbs to light up. We'll get there. And then a dermatome is a cross section of the body. So people can come in and say, hey, I'm having a pain right here. And it's really easy. I don't even need to know what organs exist right there. I can put ischemic compression over that area and reduce blood flow to it and get a response from the brain and the muscles telling me that something's going on in this area. So now the definition makes perfect sense, right? Eliciting a neuromuscular response through ischemic compression of dermatomes corresponding to various organs and body parts. Okay? We're cutting off blood flow to an area and seeing if something changes with your muscles. Does that sound like a better definition? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That medical terminology definition I had to come up with because my wife is a nurse practitioner. So when her coworkers would say, Drew, what do you do for work? I couldn't just say muscle testing. Sound like a kook. I just say, well, typically I'm helping people with food and supplements and breath work. And they go, oh, well, how do you decide what supplements and what foods to give them? Like, oh, what I do is I actually elicit a neuromuscular response through ischemic compression of a dermatome. And these nurses and doctors and physicians' assistants, they're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, cool. If I just said I muscle test, chances are I'd be like, oh, you're one of those, right? And then compression just means pressure. I realize I want to put that on there. All right, before we go to the back side of the handout, questions so far?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't sense that you really put compression or pressure in it.
Yeah.
Right?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Okay.
Now, it's not like a pressure like I'm giving CPR to someone and like cracking ribs and stuff. But it's enough pressure that I'm disrupting the blood flow to that area.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
My understanding of muscle testing is just it's used by seeing if they can pull apart my holding this.
Yeah.
To see if something, a supplement that I'm going to take is right for me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So is this the reduction of the blood flow?
No, that's a great question. So in muscle testing, we can test any muscle in the body. I typically test a person's arm by putting pressure on it. But years ago, I had a client who had double shoulder surgery. So when they were laying on the table, I actually used their leg to muscle test. I put pressure against their leg because this was not going to happen because of the surgeries. Does that make sense? This style of testing, I believe it's called BIDOT. The first time that I heard about that style of testing, where there's 2 fingers you're trying to keep together while somebody actively tries to separate those fingers, was a medical doctor in Japan who used it to diagnose cardiovascular and cardiopulmonary disease. You can find them on the internet. If you go on YouTube, I think it's called BIDOT. Because it was bi-digital O-ring testing. So bi meaning 2, digital meaning finger, O-ring. O is the shape that the fingers are making, testing. And the doctor was from Japan. So if you Google all that, you'll probably find a video of him testing people. You'll know it's the right video because he's wearing one of those Dr. White coats and he's pressing on a person's chest while doing that testing. You'll know you found the video. So you can muscle test any functional muscle in the body. Some people use fingers. I like to use the arm. Does that answer your question? Yeah, cool.
So that is a similar function to the way you muscle test.
Yes. My concern, would you help me demonstrate this?
Well, sure.
Come on up. I'll show you my concerns with BIDOT. So if you put your ring finger to your thumb for me, So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to hook my fingers in, and I'm going to try to pry her fingers apart. Does anybody have any guesses about the first problem we're going to encounter?
It gets stronger as it goes along.
Maybe. How about I'm a good 60 pounds and half a foot bigger than her?
Yeah.
Okay. My 2 hands versus 2 of her fingers does not feel like a fair. Keep your fingers together no matter what. Go ahead.
But you'll see the practitioner doing that with their own fingers. I think that's what you're referring to, right? Like you'll see the practitioner actually using their own fingers rather than the person's fingers.
No.
You'll see them use it.
The practitioner was testing your fingers.
Right.
Yeah. That's my concern with that
I've seen
style.
people doing it where they're testing through their own body.
Yeah, and I don't recommend that. Yeah.
So you can or cannot do it yourself. I mean,
Oh, self muscle testing is not something I recommend.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll demonstrate that in a second, but I want to wrap this idea
I
up.
just want to understand.
Yeah. So if you're really sensitive with a person and you're really not doing a strength test, you could use the 2 fingers as the test. I have found repeatedly, because I have really large hands, that everything got their fingers to open and I'm barely trying. So I use the shoulder muscle because that can take more weight than the little muscles of the hand. That making sense? Yeah, cool. That making sense?
Yes, but does it make sense when you see people, like you'll see muscle testers doing it through their own body? Can you explain that?
A little bit, because I don't recommend it.
I know you don't recommend
Yeah.
it, but I'm trying to understand why what is their thinking, their logic?
Yeah.
reason behind
So some muscle testers, you'll see their fingers are together. I know one example of that is a school of thought where they are feeling the friction between the pads of their fingers to determine the change.
So it's like more of an energetic testing.
It's a different thing, and my style of muscle testing doesn't do that because it wants all the physical response from stuff.
It's similar to somebody that would like try to use a pendulum.
Yeah,
test,
yeah.
like that.
And those can be easily manipulated, so that's like a concern.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Hey, welcome, Kay. Good to have you here.
Where did this originate?
Muscle testing? Well, that's a fun question because there's hieroglyphics that look like people are muscle testing. Now, I wasn't there when they chiseled them, so I really don't know, okay? but yeah, we're going back like 3,000, 4,000 years. There's carvings in stone of what looks like people muscle testing. Yeah, good question. Other questions coming to mind before we go to the back side?
It's not a conventionally medically used process.
And for the most part, I think that's because a lot of the bad things in muscle testing and the downright ridiculous things that I'm going to point out to you, because when muscle testing is done well, it is frighteningly accurate. It is incredibly powerful. And when it's done poorly, it's a pile of trash.
Rubbish.
Rubbish. There's a quote on the back from me from the first time I gave a presentation teaching muscle testing here. It was April 14th of 2023. I am very critical of muscle testers. Too many of my peers and me, too many give my peers and me a bad name. With that said, I'm happy to teach anyone how to muscle test correctly, because there's a lot of bad muscle testers out there that don't help people. And then every muscle tester gets lumped in with them.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, I hope you ask more than, yeah.
There's a lot of people that will teach you to self-muscle test.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I do not like self-muscle testing because there's so much bias involved. If we go back to this BIDOT, if I'm trying to keep these 2 fingers touching, and with my other hand, I'm trying to pry them apart. Okay, that's the goal here. So I'm muscle testing myself. So a good response in this style of self-testing would be that those 2 fingers stay together. That's like getting a yes to your question. You're asking a question, the answer is yes. You want to see a silly question? Is cheesecake the most important thing for me to eat for optimal health? Oh my God, it's a yes. I got to go to church and pray and give thanks. This is amazing. What should I do next? Beer will make me skinny. I got to go to Miller Lite. So I don't like self-testing because the bias tends to get in the way. When I'm muscle testing my people, one of the things that's going through my brain again and again is it doesn't need to be my answer. I want it to be the right answer.
Mhm.
Just tell me what's going on. It doesn't have to be my idea. An example of this that I tell people all the time, years ago, a lady came in and on her calf, when I looked at it, it was clearly ringworm. I had seen pictures of it in medical textbooks. I identified it. It looked exactly like those photos I had seen of ringworm. Okay, it's a fungal issue. Just the same, I muscle tested that area and some metal came up for that area.
Mhm.
Okay, and I said to myself, no way. I've seen the photos in the textbook. I passed that class. This is ringworm. But I trusted the muscle testing, so I sent her home with the things that would address the metal. There was nothing antifungal about what I gave her. And in 2 weeks when I saw her, the rash was completely gone. So with muscle testing, the mindset that the person doing the muscle testing has to have is, I want the answer. It doesn't have to be my answer. With self-testing, it's really tough to do that. Because cheesecake and beer is the solution for me all of a sudden.
I have a friend who does
The arm.
for herself,
Ah,
and she does it on everything.
Yeah.
And I've often wondered, how do you do that and not be biased?
yeah, that's my concern. I have a lot of faith in people, so I believe there's probably people out there who can do that. I'm also going to say it's very few people who can do that. Yeah. All right. A better way to describe muscle testing is using the body's own reflexes to determine where there is stress in the body. That definition skips the medical terminology and states how a non-invasive tool can aid in gaining greater health and function. One of the great joys of my job is that I can work with kiddos and they aren't intimidated to come in here because they keep their clothes on. There's no needles. Like, it's not a scary place. Lori's pretty nice too. Like, it's a pretty easy place to be around, okay? And it's non-invasive. That's a really big deal for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. Let's talk about the good of muscle testing. Muscle testing is non-invasive. It is safe for people of all ages. There are no side effects from muscle testing. When muscle testing is done correctly, it is capable of getting information from the body that a machine cannot. So I'm not saying stop using machines to figure out what's going on with your health. What I'm saying is we get different info from muscle testing than we do from machines. Does that difference make sense?
Mhm.
Blood work can tell you things that muscle testing cannot tell you. Hair analysis can tell you things that muscle testing cannot tell you. And muscle testing can tell you things that those two tests can't tell you.
Mhm.
Okay? So it's not that I want muscle testing to replace every form of analysis in the whole world. What I'm saying is it should just be considered as a form of analysis in addition to the scan, the blood work, the hair analysis. Okay? The bad of muscle testing. Muscle testing is often used to answer questions, much to my chagrin. Testing things of a non-physical nature moves muscle testing into the quantum realm of existence. Anybody want to lecture on quantum physics for me real quick? You? No? You're feeling it? Yeah? I'm going to turn it over. She's going to...
No, I don't want to give you a lecture.
Oh, you don't? Oh, sorry. You looked excited, like, yeah, do it. Oh, me? No, you don't want that either. So what do I mean? I mean, modern science is finding that what we deem reality does not actually exist like we think it does. Reality is completely a subjective term and varies based on the individual. According to quantum physics, nothing exists and we are all one. Now it makes sense, right? Isn't that great? So the reason I only like to test things that are physically in the room with us is because our nervous system can respond to those things readily. If you want your nervous system to respond to something that isn't in the room, that goes into this whole quantum physics realm, which is above my pay grade. So I don't do it. Again, I'm sure there are people out there who can do it. Not my thing. Okay. So I test things in the room with me. So things muscle testing cannot do. The first thing is predict. Mike, I'm going to ask you this question because I know you're going to give me the most smart aleck answer. You would never once. If muscle testing could predict things, what are the odds that I would use it to guess winning lottery numbers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, right? yet I'm still driving a 13-year-old car. So clearly, you cannot use muscle testing to predict lottery numbers. So, if I was good, I told you to give me the smart aleck answer. He's consistent, if nothing else. So, predicting things, I don't like muscle testing for predicting things. It's not a crystal ball. And then the non-physical stuff.
Give us an example of that, Drew.
Sure. Sometimes I'll have clients come in, and this is a true story, and you might chuckle. And it's okay if you do because they're not in the room. Drew, I have 2 job offers on the table. I want you to muscle test which job offer I should take. Like a psychic. Okay. I appreciate that question on the level that they want to talk to me about their job offers. And then I really want to engage that person in that conversation. And I think that's really important. I mentioned this on a live stream a few months ago. Have we ever seen organ emotion correlation charts where they say the kidneys govern fear in the body and the liver governs anger and the lungs are grief? Okay, I don't know if that's accurate. I know it's a hell of an icebreaker though. Because if you are muscle testing someone and their kidneys come up as this big problem, it's really easy for me to say, hey, your kidneys are coming up. Here's a couple of things I know about kidneys. And one of the things I've heard is that they govern fear in the body. Anything you've been afraid of lately? And the person typically goes, oh, let me tell you, my kid went to college for the first time ever. It's my oldest, never sent a kid to college. We did that all last week. I had to drive there, didn't like driving there. We show up at the campus and already there's people I think are intoxicated, and then her roommate, tattoos. Like they're already in the fear mode. Like, of course my kidneys would come up. Okay. I don't know if fear caused the kidney stress. I know that was a great icebreaker so I could understand the stress of the last week of them, oldest, first to go to college, drive, tattoos. That difference makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the downright ridiculous, and I was tempted to set it up on the projector and show you this. There was a television program in the 1980s that invited psychics, aura readers, and people with telekinetic abilities to demonstrate their abilities before a live studio audience. This was a real TV show. If you want to look it up, one of the guys who was on it all the time was named James Randi. And he was a debunker of many things. Is anybody here not old enough, young enough, we'll say, to remember Uri Geller? He went on Johnny Carson. He said it was a psychic. Ben the Spoon, thank you very much. He said he had telekinetic and telepathic abilities. And he went on Johnny Carson. And he said, I'm going to demonstrate my abilities. And Johnny said, oh, that's totally great. And Uri brought in all of his own equipment, all the things that he would use to demonstrate his abilities. And Johnny Carson hired James Randi to come in. And James said, none of those things are allowed. I'll buy exact replicas, and then you can use those ones. One of his favorite tricks to do was to set up little silver jars. So this is the overhead view of the jars. And then he would say, only 2 of these jars have water in them. And I don't know which 2 have water in them, but what I'll do is I'll pass my hand over them and I'll sense where the water is. It's that one and it's that one. And they would pour out the water and he would be right. But his staff had set up the water jars. Does that make sense? So when James set up the water jars, you can look this up. If you look up Uri Geller, Johnny Carson, you can see him. He's waving his hands over it. And he's like, I don't know, I'm not getting a good vibe. Why don't you ask me a few questions, Johnny? And Johnny's like, oh, it's okay. Take your time. When you're ready, do it again. And Uri goes, yeah, ask me some of those. Your staff told me there would be like 40 questions you were going to ask me. Let's do those instead. And Johnny's like, no, I think everybody wants to see you find the water. I think that's what everybody's here for. And he's like, I'm not feeling it tonight. Not feeling it tonight? Okay, so James Randi had a TV show where he invited people like Uri Geller on to demonstrate their supernatural abilities. The problem is not a single guest ever successfully demonstrated their abilities. On this particular show, he invited a muscle tester. And when I watch the clip of this video, it is one of the all-time worst demonstrations of muscle testing. It's terrible, bottom-tier muscle testing. That goes back to the front page. Too many lousy muscle testers give me and my peers a bad name. Because this was nationally broadcast. Total mess. Hundreds of thousands of people are like, oh, muscle testing, that's phooey. Look, it was debunked by James Randi. So the downright ridiculous is, the specifics of that on James Randi's show. This muscle tester said that if you do 5 identical bags that are opaque, so you can't see through them, like this bag, what they did was 5 of the bags had rat poison in them, and one of them had a crystal that the muscle tester said this crystal is good for the person. So we can have the person touch 5 different bags, and only the one with the crystal in it will give us a good response with muscle testing. And they completely failed because they did terrible muscle testing. And now everybody who saw that TV show thinks that all muscle testing is like that muscle testing.
So they were saying that they would find the crystal in the bag.
Compared to the rat poison, they'd find the one bag that had the crystal because the rat poison would not muscle test well. So this person muscle tested the 6 bags, and only one of them tested well, and it had rat poison in it. So it looks like muscle testing is completely inaccurate. Yeah, and that's a lot of people's first introduction to muscle testing was that. Not fair. For me. Yeah. Questions coming to mind? Who wants to be the first victim? We got to demonstrate this live, right? I can't just talk it up and then be like, all right, everybody, grab a bar on the way out. See ya.
What are some of the things that might affect muscle testing from who's being tested in terms of what should you do or not do if you're coming in to be muscle tested?
Great question. So the question was, when someone's about to be muscle tested, are there things you should or should not do prior to make sure you don't influence the muscle testing? First and foremost, good muscle testers will have a system to assess a baseline before they start the muscle testing. So whatever you have done, you may have thought it was good, and the system of muscle testing should have a way to assess it to determine if it was in fact good for you. And that could be as simple as I had a glass of orange juice before I came over. That should be good for you, but it might not have been. The muscle testing should have the ability to assess that. So there's not a lot that you should or shouldn't do before. I'll tell you things from my 17 years of muscle testing that I've seen derail muscle testing. Used to work in an office that was across the street from a bar. The guy had 3 drinks before he came over for his appointment. That futzed it up. His liver was furious. All I could muscle test was things for his liver. I was like, man, your liver's really upset today. He's like, well, I did just come from Club Tab. Brilliant. Brilliant. Another person came in and she had just been running all over town, and it was a hot day. She had been in and out of her air-conditioned car and air-conditioned businesses, and she hadn't had a drop of water. And when she came in here and sat down and relaxed, because it's a comfy space, she got super faint, super lightheaded. But just in general, it's not good to go in and out of AC on a hot day without drinking water. If she had not told me she had done that and just said seemed faint, I would have picked up on that anyways. And gotten her some water, which we did. Yeah. So it's not really, there's not a lot of things that I'm like, don't ever do this before muscle testing, because the person who's muscle testing you should be able to establish a baseline to see if anything you did messed with you. Because often things we think are good for us could be messing with us. Yeah, good question. Other ones that are bubbling up for the first victim, volunteers. Yes. I didn't forget, just because she asked a question, I didn't forget, I need a volunteer. Yeah.
Is it best not to take a supplement program the day you come in?
Great question. Should I take my supplements the day I'm going to get muscle tested? Absolutely. The supplements, having been ingested, will not interfere with good muscle testing. Because again, we'll have a system, a good muscle tester has a system to establish a baseline, a 0 point. What I mean by that is good muscle testing right at the very start. So this would be time elapsing. Right at the very start is establishing a point to compare against. So everything else, if you think about this graph, if this is what I know to be the most basic level for this person, as soon as something changes or there's a different plot to point, I can now measure the distance from their baseline point to this new finding. I don't mean to flash you back to high school algebra, but we need a 0 point so that when we learn something or something happens, we have a point of comparison. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question? Okay, cool.
I'd like to go ask a question off of Mary's question.
Sure.
In that, supplements taken in a day, does that influence the dosing when you do muscle testing?
Oh, when we assess the dosing part of it,
Yes.
could having taken your supplements messed with that? No, because we're not asking your digestive tract how much supplement you want. We're asking the nervous system, which is
Gotcha.
different.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good question. Other ones that are bubbling. Can't tell if I hear those wheels turning in your heads because you're trying to think of how to not volunteer, or if you have questions that you just aren't asking. See, in January when we did this presentation, one of our clients' husbands had come in here and had never been muscle tested. So he wanted to hop up on the table immediately. Because he's like, what's this all about?
Yeah.
We don't have that in this room. Everyone here, have you been muscle tested?
I have.
Okay.
Dr. Mark hasn't been.
Oh, Dr. Mark? Did you just out him?
He has not been muscle tested.
You've not been muscle tested, sir? Okay. I think you should get up here. You game for that?
Dr. Mark. Yes.
I'm trying to be super polite about it, but I'm also being like
Yep.
kind of rigid.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Lie down with your head at either end. I'm ambidextrous. Yes. Beautiful. Are the bottoms of his shoes clean? Yeah, I'll wake you up when we're done.
Shoes went through Paris, so I don't want that.
International footwear. All right, so give me a nice straight arm and hold it right there for me. What I'm going to do is put pressure against his arm, and I'm just going to ask him to match my pressure. Okay? So Dr. Mark, when you feel me putting pressure, just match my pressure. Okay? Match. Perfect. Doesn't that look like I did a lot? Looks like I did nothing, right? All I'm doing is keeping my elbow against my body here, and then my hand against his arm, and I'm just ever so slightly leaning. Match my pressure. I'm just shifting the weight to my left foot from my right foot. That's all I'm doing. And there's a little bit of pressure that goes on his arm, and I feel his muscles in his shoulder engage, and then I stop. Because now I know I can muscle test Mark. Match my pressure. He understands the directive. I can muscle test him. So far, so good?
That's your baseline.
Almost. It's 1/4 of my baseline. So to establish that, the next thing I do is I find his belly button, and I put my hand right over the center of it. Because I have nerve fibers in the palm of my hand, and he has nerve fibers around his belly button. Have you ever been playing with two magnets at the same time and you couldn't get them to stick because it was opposite polarity? That's what happens when I introduce my nervous system to his nervous system. So match my pressure. You see how his arm starts moving? Now he's trying to keep it up, but I am intentionally disrupting his nervous system. So his body's neuromuscular response is to say, hey man, forget the arm. Somebody's messing with us. Okay? So without doing that, match my pressure. His arm stays up right in that spot. Match my pressure. As soon as I do that, it starts traveling. That little difference is all I'm feeling for. It's not dramatic. Has anybody seen a muscle test where the arm, relax your arm for a second, went like that? You ever seen that? Yeah, it's not going to happen tonight. So if you're looking for that, look somewhere else. Okay? Good muscle testing is not a heavy pressure. I'm not going to be cranking on his arm. I am shifting the weight in my shoes. That's all I'm doing with my elbow against my body so that I can't arm wrestle him. Okay. Half of the baseline has been established. But this hand, I want you to put your pinky and your thumb together. Your other pinky. There you go. That happens about 10 times a day. Match my pressure. Perfect. His arm stayed up just like it's supposed to. Open that up. And then with your right hand, your pinky and thumb touching. Match. Perfect. Open that up too. Now I've established the baseline. The first thing I did was make sure that his arm would lock into place when I put resistance on it. The next three things were to make sure that his nervous system was responding correctly to me. That makes sense? I do that every visit. All right, show of hands if you've been muscle tested by me. Can you think of how many times I put my hand over your belly button and said pinky to thumb? So many times, right? Because every visit, every muscle test, you establish a 0 point. So you have a point of comparison. Too many muscle testers would just come up here and be like, all right, Mark, straight arm for me, match my pressure. Great, let's start testing organs. Oh, incomplete 0 point established. Very likely inaccurate muscle testing is going to happen after that. If all there's match my pressure, great, let's go. Okay. Questions that are bubbling up already? Yeah.
Is it too much to ask
Question.
you to explain
Or
what would
second.
happen if he didn't pass those tests? Like
Yeah,
if-
then we'd investigate and find out why.
Okay.
There's different questions, and that's some advanced stuff.
Yeah, okay.
We're not going to delve into that.
Next time.
Maybe
Okay.
next time.
All right.
If people can prove they were here tonight, they can come to part 2.
Ah,
I did the basics, right? It's like in college, I did the 100 course, so now I can take the 200
yes.
course.
Okay.
But there's things that we do if the 0 point is off, if those 4 things don't go as they should, there are ways to assess what's going on, provide support to correct it, and then we can continue the visit.
Perfect. Thank you.
So that guy who came in from Club Tap across the street those years ago, and he already had 3 cocktails, well, he reported 3. Who knows how many he actually had. When I started muscle testing him, some of this baseline stuff was off already.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, hey, you having a rough day? Like something off? Like what's something going on? And that's when he's like, well, it was a Club Tap. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next thing I would do is this ischemic compression part. So nice straight arm, match my pressure. Perfect. And I'm going to put pressure on different parts of your body, Dr. Mark. When you feel me putting pressure here, just match that pressure. Okay? So with each spot that I'm reducing blood flow to, just by putting pressure with this hand to these different spots, each time I put pressure on an area of his body, I'm leaning and putting pressure against his arm afterwards. So I'm doing the ischemic compression, the blood flow reduction by pressing on these areas, while putting pressure against his arm. Right there. You see how his arm just moved at that reflex? Okay. I'm going to come back to that. I'm keeping note of the spots that I pressed on him where his arm started to travel. I'm not going to steal your keys, I promise. All right, so his stomach. His stomach is the spot that was off. 2 Boots, would you please grab me a Zypan?
Yes.
And Okra Pepsin E3. So what we can do now, we have established where in Dr. Mark's body we should get some support. Oh, and don't throw them because there's
No,
an
I'm not.
innocent person. Lori likes to throw things at me, everybody. It's been documented on video. I'm not making this up. But not when there's an innocent bystander. Okay.
Right.
We've established where in Dr. Mark's body support would be a good thing to give. Now I'm going to actually introduce the supports into the muscle test. We'll put it right against his body. Straight arm here. Match my pressure. Cool. See how his arm isn't moving anymore? Okay. If I take that away, match. See how quickly his arm starts moving again?
Mm-hmm.
I tried the other supplement just in case. Match. Arm is still moving. This is not the solution for him. It's a fine supplement. It's made by Standard Process. It's just not the right one. Not right for Dr. Mark. So I put this right against him. Boom, and his arm does not move at all. Zypan. Really popular digestive aid. Really good for the stomach. We established a 0 point. We used that 0 point to compare against all the different organs in his body that I put that ischemic compression or that reduction of blood flow. We found one area that was looking for support, and then we found a support for it. Yeah.
Do you go and check for more
Would more
areas show up once you correct this? Would you go back and check for more, or do you stop there?
so once we find one area of stress, do we go back and check for more areas? It's a little bit of an advanced topic, but on the initial where I'm scanning different areas, if only one area comes up, like with Dr. Mark, I'm just going to stick to that one area. It's really common though that people will have 2, 3, 4, even 5 areas all asking for help. Yep, in that first muscle testing. And then we have a way of asking the body to prioritize things. Hey, what's the most upset area? And that's where you want to start. The area that's calling out for the most help is where you want to start. Yeah. Were you at my omega-3 presentation? Okay, cool. So in that one of the case studies that I presented on was a client who came in and they had tremendous brain fog. They just could not think clearly. So they came in and they were like, Drew, I need you to help me with my brain. My brain is the problem. Fix my brain. My brain isn't working right. You got to fix my brain. Okay? And I muscle tested them, and not a single thing with their brain muscle tested poorly. Their tummy tested poorly. Their gallbladder was all screwy. Okay? When I put their program together, it didn't have a single brain product in it. But I said, your brain isn't muscle testing poorly. It's these digestive organs that are testing poorly. She hemmed and hawed a little bit. I don't blame her. She was new to me. But 2 weeks later, she came back in after taking just the gut stuff. She's like, how is my brain fog 25% better if you're not giving me anything for brain fog? We have to understand that brain fog is a symptom that can be caused by multiple parts of the body, not just the brain specifically. Yeah, and needing the soothing. Yeah, this lady took what I would call a super physiological dose, like a mega dose. And then she was like, hey, I'm back. Yeah.
First time I took that tuna, I felt shifting in my brain actually.
When you took the tuna, yeah, the tuna omega-3.
I actually had to check my body because I was like, something's wrong. No, my body just really needed omega and DHA.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you realize it's not something's wrong. Something's different now.
Yes, but I had to stop.
Oh, totally. Oh, it's weird. It gets weird. Yeah. I tell a story about a client who got her supplement program from me at 9 a.m. And before I went to lunch, I had an email from her waiting for me. And she said, could this all be placebo, or could I really be feeling better already? Because sometimes when your body is so hungry for a nutrient, you take one dose of it, your body goes, oh, we're going to do that again? I'll go back to behaving. Yeah, like tuna in your brain. Oh, you're going to give me that? Hey, look what I can do. Yeah. Other questions bubbling up. Round of applause for Dr. Mark for being the guinea pig. Come on up, sir. Give me your hand. Come on up. Next victim. Yeah, come on up. Welcome up. Yeah, please, if you would.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you test extremities at all?
So with the question was, do I test extremities? Absolutely. For the most part, I'm doing this ischemic compression, this blood flow reduction over organs and glands, like the thyroid or the liver or the kidneys. But like, let's say Aubrey came in and said, Drew, my foot hurts. Then I'm absolutely going to put pressure on her foot to reduce blood flow to her foot. Yeah. It's like people who come in with knee problems. I get a hold of a knee. Somebody says, oh, this elbow always has tennis elbow. I'm going to put pressure on their elbow. Answer your question? Yeah, cool. All right, nice straight arm for me. Full disclosure, this is one of my students. Okay, so she knows what's supposed to happen. Just the same. Match my pressure. Perfect. That's fine. Not mess anything up. See how our arm stayed in that position? I'm gonna find her belly button. Match. Feel how quickly, or see how quickly her arm moved. Pinky touching thumb here. Match. Good. Her arm didn't move. Open that up. Right hand. Yep. Open that up. See, that's why I have to disclose ahead of time that you've been trained, because she was doing the pinky and thumb thing before I asked her to. She's like, I know what's next. I'm a good student. Start to go through. I'm just reducing blood flow to different regions of her brain up here. Nothing malicious. Go to her thyroid. Go to her lung reflexes. Go to her heart reflex. Her thymus gland. Thymus gland is behind your chest bone, behind your sternum. It's the brain of your immune system. Go over to her liver, gallbladder, and right there, her arm changed. You couldn't see this, but when I got to that spot, her eyes opened up, and all of a sudden she was like, "What was that?" Which is really common during muscle testing. Check some kidneys and some adrenals back here. No, so the gallbladder wants attention. Two Boots, would you be my hero? Cholecol and AF beta food, two of my favorite gallbladder nourishment supplements. Show of hands if you're on Cholecol or AF beta food. Yeah, right on. Yeah, right on. Me too. She's not going to throw this. Livoplex has AF beta food in it. Not enough. I just need more. Boom. I put this one against her. Match my pressure. That arm isn't moving for anything. Yeah. Put Cholecol against there. Her gallbladder's like, hey, it's a cool supplement. It's just not for me. Yeah, so that's great. So she said she's on Livoplex. Would you grab Livoplex for me? Livoplex, by standard process, I'm going to find a spot to write all this down. We'll take away the Uri Geller thing. You can Google Uri Geller, Johnny Carson later. When we take Livoplex, thank you, Lori. Livoplex contains 6 different supplements from standard process. Antranex, our beloved Spanish black radish, AF beta food, Hepatrophin PMG, a product that they call zinc complex, it used to be called Kaizen, and then Arginex. Really great product. Really great combination of nutrients. Right, you love it? Yeah, right on. Right now, I'm testing her on this supplement, AF beta food. Her gallbladder is asking for it. She's already getting some of it, but it's just a small amount. Each capsule of Livoplex is only about 10 or 15% AF beta food. She just might need more of that specific ingredient within this. Does that make sense? So I'm going to grab Livoplex, put it against her, if you'll excuse me. Thank you. Press on her gallbladder. And that also gives me a really good locked arm. It's not traveling at all. So then I'll test my luck. I'll add AF beta food, match, and it's still locked. She's saying it's easier to keep her arm in place. So chances are she could really use some AF beta food in addition to her Livoplex. This recipe is good, but her favorite spice is this one. We should add a little bit more of that seasoning to the recipe. Yeah, AF beta food helps thin the bile so it flows more easily. And the vitamin F that's in there, if I say lumberjacks dropping trees into the river and they would flow down the river, can you picture this? The term log jam, vitamin F keeps your gallbladder from having a log jam. So it can just flow the bile out. It makes it easy to flow the bile. Yeah, the vitamin F, and that's the cataplex F. So sometimes people just need cataplex F on its own.
It's also in cod liver, right?
Yeah, cod liver oil is a natural source of vitamin F. Standard process does this really sweet thing. A lot of their supplements are just combination products, and they give it away in the title. Standard process has a vitamin A product, a vitamin F product, and a product called beta food. And AF beta food is when you mix those 3 things together. So they just tell you in the title. There's no secret. Just these 3 supplements mixed.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for volunteering. Round of applause. Round of applause. 2 Boots, I've been neglecting the chat. Has the chat chimed in with any questions?
No, everyone's just watching it.
Okay, cool. You want to go? Cool. What time is it?
7:27.
Oh, cool. We're sitting pretty. Head at either end, however you're comfortable. Now, this human, I don't know at all. Okay? I work with Dr. Mark, train this one. This human, I don't know at all. So what I would really like to do is just muscle test, find where there's any areas where there's an unlocked indicator, and then I will ask questions related to that organ that are likely symptoms, and we'll see if she's experiencing any of them.
Cool.
What I'm not going to do is ask about symptoms that are common about women who are approximately her age. because that's not fair.
Mm.
That's easy to do, right? You ask an 80-year-old if they feel like they need a nap each day. What a nonsense question. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask
I'm
a...
not 80.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't implying that. I'm sorry.
That's what it sounded like.
Ooh, geez. I'll leave the smart aleck to you, okay? It's like asking a 14-year-old, you ever feel hormonal or upset with your parents? Not a fair question, okay? So nice straight arm here for me. I'm going to put pressure against your arm. I just want you to match that pressure back, okay? So match. Great. She does a good job matching my pressure. Find her belly button. Match. See her arm starts moving?
Mhm.
So far, so good. With this hand, put your pinky to your thumb. Thank you. Match. Beautiful. Open that up, and then right hand, pinky to thumb. Beautiful. We have a 0 point now.
I thought that you don't want your arm to move when you're on the belly button.
I do. That's the one time I want to see an unlocked indicator is when I'm intentionally messing with the nervous
Oh,
system,
yeah, I get it.
like the magnets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's check in with Oliver. Oh, right there. The arm's moving at the first reflex. I'm going to say the real wise guy question. Got a lot on your brain lately?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever get a person
There?
that doesn't want to be touched?
I don't understand the question.
Like,
Rest
I
your arm for a
have
second.
seen some muscle testing where they're just lightly putting it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why, but I'm just wondering, do you ever get somebody that's in that like being touched?
I
And
don't.
You have to change it.
Yeah, because it would, if I'm not physically contacting them, I'm not getting ischemic
Right,
compression,
right.
and then I'm not getting a scientific
Yeah.
response from the body,
Mhm.
and then I can't prove anything I'm doing. At that point, it is just like me being like, well, let me pray over you, and then I'll know what supplement to give you.
Mhm.
Maybe people can do that. It ain't me, though.
Mhm.
So I've had clients who have asked me, like, don't touch me in that region. Totally. It's your body.
Yeah.
Like, you get to...
Yeah.
But since there's nothing, like it's non-invasive, and to be specific, when I'm testing a lady's chest, like for the lung reflexes, I'm using the back of my hand because you can't cop a feel with knuckles. You know what I mean? If we have to test
I was
anything,
going to ask you about that because you use different parts of your hand.
totally, my hand position is different depending upon what I'm testing. It's either because of the shape of the organ or gland I'm trying to test, or to make sure that I'm not copping a feel. As soon as you're testing somebody's like genitals, for example, it is their hand. They are putting the ischemic compression with their hand, and I'm testing their other arm. Because I'm not here to touch anybody's genitals. That's a rule I have.
Let's go.
Okay. I was expecting, I was ready. Yeah. If you could see the grin on this guy's face, you'd be like, is that the Cheshire cat in the front row? All right, nice straight arm. So we found 2 areas where her arm went unlocked. This poor lady's been married to this guy. You're used to it by now, right? All right, so her body has prioritized that her adrenals are the biggest deal. So the common symptoms with adrenal stress are going to be inflammation and trouble regulating it, energy issues, and the circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock seeming off. So I'm going to ask you, does any of that resonate with you?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. So her body is accurately telling us information about itself. I love that. Would you please grab Drenamine and Cataplex C and Adrenal Complex from MediHerb? Yeah. Yeah, the frontal lobe. Yeah. There's different hand modes, like the pinky thumb thing is just to change the wiring of the nervous system. There are additional hand modes to help narrow down the priority in the body. That's what I was doing. That gets into some of the advanced stuff. I do. Yeah, I did it with my own hand. As long as it's within the chain, either person can be doing it. Sure. It's just that. It looks like a marble flicker. Oh, yeah. So I went like this to change how my nervous system is responding. And then I reduced blood flow to the front part of her brain. And then all of a sudden her arm stayed in place. So it locked. Yeah. And as soon as I open that up and I go back, match. See how quickly her arm starts moving? Yeah, unlocked is what I would say instead of weak. Yeah. I'm not trying to nitpick. It's not a strength test. That's the, okay. With that, and then I press on her adrenals, it stays unlocked, and that's her body's way of saying this is the most stressed area. Yeah, I'm like that while I'm pressing on her adrenals. Yeah, totally.
What are the
How do
three?
you know that it's not my kidneys?
Oh, I love this question. So she goes, I didn't know it's not my kidneys, bub. It's like, she didn't say bub, but
Adrenals are on my kidneys.
yes, that's why they're called adrenals, because they're on kidney. It was cataplex, C, adrenamin, and adrenal complex. Yeah. How do I know it's not, thank you, it's not kidneys? It's a great question, because when you're testing the abdomen especially, there's a lot of different things all going on inside of there. The supplements will tell you. So if I start testing you for all these things I know are adrenal support and none of them test, as clinician, I should know to grab some kidney stuff because we're right next to the kidney. It's like when I'm testing the left chest, is that heart or lung? The supplements will tell me, because if the lung support tests, then I'm like, oh, it's lung. If heart support tests, oh, it's heart. Did I answer your question? Yeah, right on. So I'm gonna grab a supplement, I'm gonna put it against her, nice straight arm for me. Match my pressure. Now her arm won't move. Cool. We determined the area of the body that was looking for support. We put a support on there and we got a change. We elicited, did I put elicit up there? Oh, F minus. We got a different response from that reflex. Now here's the funnest part. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but we have to go back to her frontal lobe. The adrenal support is staying on her. Match my pressure. The stress in the frontal lobe was because of the adrenals. I'm not going to sell her any more supplements because when I fix her, because I have ethics and a moral code that is self-imposed. That's why. That's one of my favorite parts of muscle testing when we prioritize things in the body. There's almost always just one culprit who's bothering other areas of the body. Have you, rest your arm again. Have you ever seen a group of kids playing and everybody's getting along? And then some kid joins the group and chaos erupts? It's like that in the human body all the time. So muscle testing allows us to determine who is the chaos factor who joined the group and disrupted the group. Because when we know that, I don't have to address every single kid's misbehavior, just the one, because they are the ignition switch for the problem. That makes sense? Yeah. Thanks for letting me test you. Come on up. Everybody, round of applause.
But you didn't test that?
I don't need to. I fixed both your problem spots. I'm not gonna. The recipe tastes good.
What did you use for it? What did you use for it? Was it
Adrenamin. Yeah, I grabbed two other things I know are good for adrenals, but her body, both reflexes said, if you do Adrenamin, we're both happy. Yeah, and Adrenamin is a 3-in-1 product. Like Livoplex is 6-in-1, Adrenamin is 3-in-1. So it does cover a lot of areas.
So real quick question on that. If it became up weak on her frontal lobe,
yeah,
would you test the other two?
Great
See
question.
if one would go good for both?
So in that scenario, I've determined the adrenals are the priority. I've resolved them, right? Addressed their need for support. I went to her frontal lobe, and you're saying her arm stayed unlocked. I would ask the frontal lobe what nutrients it wants, the way I had just asked the adrenal what supplements it wants. So I'd be having Lori grab my most favorite things for frontal lobe stress. Mintran is one of my favorites for frontal lobe stress. The fish oils, we were talking about tuna before, is one of my favorites. What else do I use? I use a decent amount of neurotrophin. We use a lot of neurotrophin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Orchex is another supplement that's really good for frontal lobe stress. Minchex contains Orchex and Mintran. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of things for frontal lobe stuff. So if the frontal lobe was still unlocked after addressing the adrenal, I would ask it questions. Be like, hey, everybody else is happy. What's your problem? I mean, everybody else is happy. How can I support you?
So just a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is too advanced, but I know that those have a lot of iodine. So the body knows that it needs iodine. If it didn't need the iodine from all that Minchex, it probably wouldn't dose that high.
Yeah. If the supplement contains a nutrient that the body says you're about to give me too much of that thing,
Yeah.
it will reject that supplement. Yeah. As soon as you put it against the body, we're asking the nervous system, like, hey, what do you think about this? And the whole nervous system will chime in and say, nope, it has too much fill in the blank nutrient. Try again. Yeah.
So the supplement that you tried me was 3-in-1, you said?
Yeah, the Drenamine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, specific to Drenamine. What color haven't I used? So Drenamine contains something called drenatrophin, PMG, which is like blueprints for healthy adrenal glands. It contains the cataplex C, and it contains something called cataplex B2, which is a blend of soothing B vitamins, which is probably what your frontal lobe liked.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to guess in Drenamine, out of the 3 things that are in there, what would a frontal lobe be most likely to want? It would be that one. It's a relative of Orchex, another soothing brain combo.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Because I know with PMGs are supposed to be empty stomach, but these you can take with meals, right?
Right.
It's a blend.
Yeah, there's some supplements that are best on an empty stomach. There are still times where we may use those with food to elicit a slightly different response. Yeah. We can dork out about that some other time. Yeah. Yeah.
Could a reading be changed by having the product in the bottle versus like individual in your hand?
If it's in your hand, you're asking the nerve fibers, and there's about 8,000 nerve endings in the palm of each hand. You're asking them a very specific question. So it would totally be different if the pills were out in your hand versus in the bottle.
So it would change the dosage or the...
Just the response, not necessarily the dosage, but the way the person's body would respond to the supplement would change. Yeah, there's more question there. No?
Testing it while it's in the bottle.
Yes.
It don't take you while it's in the bottle.
I hope not.
Well, obviously, so you're going to get a different response.
Right, so
Wouldn't you get a different response? Because now you're touching it, so it's different than if it was in the bottle. So you're, once you say you don't test it with it in your hand because there's too many nerves that will
Right.
affect the results.
Right.
But that's how you take it. So
yeah,
you're getting a different response.
let me tell you the flow of it, and you tell me if this answers the question. When I'm testing somebody and I just have the bottle against their body, I'm asking the question, is this the support that you need? When I pour it out in their hand, I'm asking them, how much of that support do you need? It's a different question. It's type versus quantity.
You've already established it needs it, now you're just figuring out the amount.
Right.
The value of it.
Yeah, the need has been established. Now, how much support is needed?
To correct.
Did that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because that's a good question. A lot of people, when you're figuring out the amount, yeah, you pour it out in the palm. Yeah, to use those nerve endings. Because you don't have nerve endings like this all over.
So there's muscle testing that uses the vagus nerve to test the amount to take. They call it the MFT test.
Oh, I would disapprove of that. Okay, so this is like an advanced thing, so stay with me for just a second. There's a different style of muscle testing than my style, where when they are determining the amount of the supplement to give, they're holding it against the vagus nerve reflex.
Yes.
And I don't like that. When you press on the vagus nerve, you're reducing blood flow to it, and you're asking if it's stressed out.
They're not pressing on it, they're just holding the supplement near.
I don't want them just holding it near it. We need that provable effect on the body, not the I got it close to you. Was it close enough?
So it's interesting because the man that developed this was a nutritional response tester for 30-something years, and
Yeah.
he developed the MFT. And so I'm just
Totally.
talking about outdoor more about it with you.
Totally. And I look forward to it.
I'm just interested because I'm listening to you. I've been trained in a different style,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to understand the.
What you just shared is that
Conclusion, if he was muscle testing.
I think I might have actually heard about this guy while I was in school. I don't know. They didn't share his name. Yeah, because ULAN doesn't throw shade at people. They're great about
Well,
that.
it's not, it's just,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's his. he
But that-
developed in that team.
Totally. So the school that I went to is called ULAN Nutritional Systems. They are where I learned how to get really good at muscle testing. And another one of their graduates, after using that school for so long, started to change some of the things within it. Now, I'm not going to bash him changing,
No,
because I've done the same thing. There's things I noticed about Wisconsinites that I just wasn't taught about at a school in Florida. So I apply them. With holding it just near there, though, I'm hoping their nervous system is sensitive enough that it'll
pick up on this.
to pick up on the thing when it's off of the body. A lot of people's nervous systems are too stressed out for that. So I want it. I heard you chuckle, but what I also heard was you go, "Preach, brother." That's what I heard you. So I want the stuff right against the body so that I know the nervous system doesn't have to do a lot of work to assess it. Yeah, to respond.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
I'm just trying to understand
Totally.
where he would have come, but it's, we'll talk more
Yeah.
about it. I'll show you this.
I've seen a lot of weird muscle testing things that people swear up and down. This is the best way I've ever seen.
They're getting results with it.
Sure. Broken clock is right twice a day. I'm just saying. I'm just really critical of muscle testers because there's so many bad ones.
No, you should be.
Yeah.
You should be. But it's just interesting to watch you test this way and to have been trained a different way and to, I'm just trying to differentiate.
Yeah, totally.
Not that he's bad or wrong.
Yeah, not that he's bad or wrong. Yeah.
So what would have been the next step?
For you?
Yeah.
I would have said, "This is amazing. I only have to sell you one thing, but my kids are going to college soon, so I'm going to have to get Mike in for a visit. Sell him a lot of supplements." Determine that all the areas we have attention on are being addressed. Then I would go back through that 0 point and make sure that I can bring you back to the 0 point with the supplements on you. Because I don't want to just say like, "Oh, at the start you were okay. Hey, here's hoping it stays that way." At the end of it, I'm going to make sure your body says, we can add these nutrients without being disruptive. We're just going to improve areas, not pull back areas. And then I would dose you for the quantity using the nerve endings in your hand. Yeah, so I'd make sure that your body's happy with the additions, and then we'd figure out how much addition we're doing.
So I'm already on a 14 supplements.
Yeah.
How do you work with that?
Yeah. So when clients come in and they're already on a big program, I prefer to start with a hair analysis with people because that's some lab testing that's going to show me tissue levels of nutrients. And that's really helpful because so often, I didn't think I was going to draw this much tonight, Lori. So often on a hair analysis, we'll measure a nutrient like magnesium. And if that is the ideal level of magnesium, when I'm talking to a person before their hair analysis results are in, they go, "I take the best magnesium ever. It's got the best form of magnesium in it." And a guy in a lab coat on TikTok told me so. So I bought 7 bottles. And their hair analysis comes in and it is freaking spiked. The magnesium level is way too high. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's like going to the gas station to fill up your car, and after your tank is full, you just start spraying the gas on your car. Don't do that. Okay? Please don't do that. Okay? Especially if you have an EV, it's even worse. Okay. Their body is clearly getting magnesium because the level is there. There is magnesium present, but that form, even though the lab coat guy said it was good, is not correct for their body's chemistry, because if it was, it would have topped out right at the ideal level.
And instead, it's coming out in the hair.
Yeah, the body's like, "I don't know what to do with this. I got to just push it out. I'm going to throw it in the hair. Get rid of it." Yeah.
Can you use muscle testing to at least eliminate things that may be problematic in somebody's diet? that
Oh,
might
can
be
you-
causing,
Yeah, can you take a food and muscle test a food? Absolutely. But we need the food in the room with us. You can't just think about chicken nuggets and then have me push on your arm. Yeah. Good question. Other questions bubbling up.
Would this be more where you would see like a synthetic form versus a whole food form where you would see
Of
tissues
magnesium?
on like a hair analysis?
Have I ever seen a whole food magnesium cause excess levels on a hair analysis? Not that I can consciously recall. So it's probably those isolates. Yeah. Yeah.
So, being a neuromuscular.
Yeah.
Does attitude or belief enter into it at all?
And
Like, if a person is having a lot of doubts while they're being tested,
Yeah.
can it affect the testing?
Great question. So if the person doesn't believe muscle testing is valid, or if they're doubting the efficacy of it, can that influence the test? Only if they are consciously being difficult to muscle test. Because as long as when I say match my pressure, they're matching my pressure, their nervous system on a subconscious level probably isn't going to be a jerk. Even if on a conscious level, they're like, this Drew guy is way too slick. I don't like it. It's no good. That kind of thing. Yeah.
So it can affect the muscle testing if they're just not cooperating.
Yeah, like I'll give you like a real life example. Guy came in, he was a surgeon in the U.S. Army for 15 years. He's seen things that I'm glad I haven't seen. Okay? He shared very few stories with me. The few he shared, I'm like, yep, I'm good. Don't need to be a back surgeon in the Army. And when he was brought in, his wife brought him in. She'd been a client for a while. We got rid of her headaches. We got rid of her bloating. She was really happy. Brings in the husband, tries to get the husband to be on the program. And when I said, go ahead and lay down, I'm going to muscle test you a little bit, he said, why would we waste our time doing that? And I said, oh, okay. So are you just asking, you just want like my book smarts applied to your case? And he fired back, I don't know if you have any book smarts. And I was like, great, you can leave now. And I helped him up from the table. And he was like, what? And I was like, no one is ever going to make you stay here. No one. You're not strapped down. I won't hold you down. And if you would like, I'll go in the other room with you and call your wife right now and tell her that I am not able to help you. Because of this guy being that difficult, I'm not putting up with that. I'm here to help you and you and you and you and you, right? And y'all work with me. I'm not going to have somebody who's that resistant. When they are ready for help, I'm happy to provide it. But until then, I'm not subjecting myself or my staff to that type of behavior. Yeah. He didn't even go in the other room with me to call his wife. I was like, great, you handle her. Good luck. She's probably going to be mad at you. She's quite fond of me. Your headaches are gone, remember? Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, it takes like a real jerk attitude to interfere with it. Otherwise, as long as they match my pressure, and I say match my pressure, we're good.
Did he end up letting you treat?
Nope. Didn't want to work with me. Nope. He left. I was happy to see him go. I refunded him his money. Bon voyage. All the best. Thank you for your service. No hard feelings. Yeah. Went and saw the next client who was happy to see me. All right, we got time for one more question. One more thought, one more concern. It's not a fire alarm, don't worry. All right, we have a raffle to do.
Yeah, and we did not pass out tickets yet.
So we'll
if
do
you
that
wanna
now.
that.
The live stream is supposed to end with me noodling around on my guitar. So while she passes those out,
Okay.
I'm going to get to noodling. There you
You
go.
want to tell people what they want to...
Why don't you tell them?
Okay, so over yonder, over there on that desk are a variety of different goodies, and whoever wins can pick whatever they want over there. It is heavily standard process stuff, but hey, it's still usable and kind of cool.
Does anybody here know what a looper pedal is?
No.
I'm reading Les Paul, so I'm learning all about it.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Les Paul is an incredible human.
I went to the museum of
Yeah.
display out in Washington.
Yeah, Waukesha. Lovely. So a looper pedal is a device that if I play a chord, I can then stop playing said chord and the looper pedal will loop it. So what I'm going to do for you now is play a few chords and then play a little guitar over the top of it and demonstrate the looper pedal.
case anybody wants some more. Sit down.
Thank you very much, everybody. Let's find a winner.
Okay,
Oh, I get to draw it?
sure. Read off the number and see who the lucky winner is.
Read off the number. Ends in 196. Sue! Nice! Sue's a winner. Let's do one more. We had a good turnout.
All right.
Another chance to win. Big money, no whammies. 201. Hey, all right. We got baseball hats and towels. We got lunch containers. We have insulated grocery bags, insulated lunch boxes, thermoses.
Frothers.
Please come up, choose any item on the table that you'd like. The computer monitor and the lighting array are not an option. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for coming so much,
Yeah,
Jake.
thanks for coming, Jerry.
Would you like a bar to go?